So, Beyond Sandbox finally released, and I haven't even gotten into like any maps or anything. I've just been playing around in the tutorial level, but I'm already finding a lot that I want to say about it, and I'm someone that's always had a very high expectation for Beyond Sandbox, and I was going to keep my hopes high and praise it as the one and true VR game to end all VR games and to give me infinite amounts of replayability whenever I'm bored. And so this honesty is coming from somebody who has a lot of respect for the game. So I just want to touch on some things that I noticed when testing around. First things first is, well, your body's a little wonky. Yeah, your body's a little bit wonky. Sometimes it does a thing where you kind of accidentally clip into your own body, and that's kind of common, but what I mainly want to focus on is, well, stuff I've noticed with the weapons and the NPCs. Now, I'm expecting this stuff to get changed and fixed and updated and all that jazz as the game progresses, but we were, in a way, kind of promised these features on launch, and, because, they showed them in their shorts, and some features just seem like a no-brainer, like, no duh, why wouldn't this be in the game? Like, reverse gripping. You cannot reverse grip. You cannot reverse grip a melee weapon. At all. You can hold it like this. Does this work? Yeah, but it doesn't look very pretty. It's not very practical. If you try to reverse grip it, your character will just automatically grab it right side up, which is pretty disappointing. You would think that from all of their advertising of, being able to grab guns basically anywhere, procedural gripping, that, reverse gripping would be a no-brainer, but it's just not here, no matter how hard you try. Another thing is that it can be a little difficult to... Well, first I want to touch on just the melee combat in general. Melee is something that's very difficult to do in a VR game, I've noticed. Even Blade and Sorcery has trouble with it. I don't find the melee in that game to be all that satisfying. The most fun that I've had with melee in a game, at least from what I've played, I think would have to be Nightclub Simulator, strangely enough. I will be using Hard Bullet as a strong contender, an example as to sort of what I expected from Beyond Sandbox, because I expected Beyond Sandbox, even in its early access state, to exceed Hard Bullet. But so far that's not really the case. Now, melee combat in Hard Bullet is not good. It is god-awful. So I can't really compare it there, but I will say that, like, I barely touched him there. I barely touched him, and he's already bleeding. But, like, if I try to, like, punch him to knock him out, I can't just be like, That, to me, wasn't very satisfying. Yes, he stepped back, but he didn't, like, stumble back. Like, he didn't, like, go like, and, like, basically fall on his back, like what I'm used to in, like, Nightclub Simulator. If I punch him again, still nothing, not much of a reaction. There we go, and he's gone. He didn't really do anything interesting when he fell. It wasn't all that satisfying. Also, I am moving around because of stick drift. I did get new controllers specifically for the enjoyment of this game, but I also did want to test how this game handled stick drift, and I will say it is better than most games. As far as I could tell, it does not have a slider for stick drift adjustment, at least not yet. And if you, like, clench your fists, you will move if your stick drift is that bad. but for the most part, it's not terrible. It's not going to like zoom you around all over as you're trying to land a precise shot or anything. But yeah, back to the melee. When it comes to stabbing or just hitting someone with a melee weapon in general, it's kind of finicky because the head kind of jerks around. Oh, that's okay. Because the head kind of jerks around weirdly. Put your arms down, dude. And it's kind of a little tricky. I don't know what he's doing, but it's distracting. How is this not... This should snap his neck. This should absolutely snap his neck, but it doesn't. Yeah, it's a little finicky. I'm trying to, like, get a good example here. It's not really... Like, if I were to swipe at him, like... Didn't... Another thing that comes when it comes to melee combat, grabbing people is the most trickiest part when it comes to melee combat in VR games, because they tend to do this. They walk away from you and make your arms stretch out weirdly. They don't really care that you're holding on to them. They just kind of continue on with their business. And I find that really annoying and unsatisfying, especially if you're trying to like grab somebody and like come here, like what is this? Why is this? Why does that happen? I'm trying to make you walk with me. And he just, you know, it just doesn't work. Now, oh, there we go. It's not great, but in Blade and Sorcery is the most egregious of this example, but I'm just like surprised to see it in Beyond Sandbox. I would have thought they would have had a better system for grabbing people and making it feel natural and weighty. And because some games, they feel way too light, like this, or they just don't come with you at all. Yeah, the melee definitely needs some work. I'm surprised that there's not more dismemberment included with the melee. You know, I was expecting to be able to, like, a zombie's head off, but, you know, it doesn't really work, and I think it gets a little too stuck. Like, yeah, the melee weapons in this game are supposed to get stuck, but this feels a little extreme. Like, if I were to go, like, and pull away, this feels too stuck to me. Like, you really gotta... That is the first time that I've seen the NPC's throat get cut. I've been trying to achieve that, and I just thought it wasn't in the game. So, a good example with the shovel, especially. You know, when smacking someone with the shovel, I was expecting them to just instantly fall down. I was expecting them to instantly fall down with a very satisfying clank, but it's just kind of... That is very limp. That is not satisfying. That's kind of the main thing that I have with the melee. It could be improved upon. And also they said that we were getting GTA-like reactive ragdolls. I don't really think that this counts as a reactive ragdoll. It just, it's not... Can't even really, like, trip him or anything. And this isn't because the NPCs are static either. I'd say them being static is better than them walking around for this kind of testing, because I'll just show you. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. If I were to, like, attack his knees, he's not gonna fall. I can tell you now, he's not gonna fall. He's just gonna get mad and shoot at me until he eventually dies and mentally ragdolls. Yeah. If I were to hit him in any other way, nothing's really gonna happen. I can't break his arm. I don't think I can make him fall with a smack. Oh, I'm not really sure what happened there. I don't think he's limping. Is he limping? He might be limping. Can't really tell. Okay, so they can still fall over. It's just not amazing. What did I get hurt by? I got hurt for no reason. Oh, so, well, we're, you know, I'm kind of jumping ahead now to the points I want to discuss, but the AK, the guns in general, they aren't very good. Okay, hold on. Calm down, stick drift. It's not happy because I'm clenching my fist. So you can do this, and load a shell, and release, and that shell's loaded. That's cool, but when would you actually ever do something like that in game play? Load up more shells, yada yada. That's not great sounding. It just feels so limp. Like, I will give them props. I don't really like shotguns in VR because I think that they are clunky and awkward to use. And whenever you make a shotgun like this, where you can always pump it, instead of just when you need to reload, then it creates awkward situations where you accidentally pump it when you don't mean to. And they just aren't that, they generally aren't that amazing to use in VR. But this shotgun, while it feels alright, and like I'm not accidentally pumping it, like I really have to try to pump it, I like that. I think the shotgun, and it aims well. Like, this is actually an easy shotgun to use, and I like that, but it sounds like ass. I'm just gonna say, it sounds like ass. And this AK, they advertised micro interactions, and I'm pretty sure you even saw in a short that you could, you know, pop out or hit the mag release with micro interactions, but you know, you can't. You just can't. You can't even get your finger to collide with it. In fact, doing this doesn't even really work all that well. You can't do this. No matter how hard you try, you just can't. Even though they also advertised this as a micro interaction. You have to press the A button on your right controller to eject the magazine, which is disappointing. Your character doesn't even press the mag release, it just pops out with magic. And all the guns sound like ass, I'm just gonna say that. They all do. There's still one in the chamber, though it's empty. And it will be there infinitely every time I do this. Same goes for the pistol. There's no... See, there's nothing, there's not even a magazine, but if I grab it, there is one in the chamber that is empty for some reason. This is really disappointing. The magazine doesn't slide out, it just... Like, I'm sorry. I want to be positive, but this is just hard to look at. And the sounds for ejecting the magazines are all the same. Speaking of sounds, there's no sound for loading in a double barrel. The shells kind of just snap in there. You can't actually slide them in. I'm pretty sure Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, Hand Grenades has more interaction than this. I'll just kill him. I do like that sometimes the shells don't fully eject and kind of gotta wiggle them out. You see that? See that? See that? See that? I'm gonna play that back in slow motion, but you see how my gun just kind of hopped over to the other side of his head, and his head kind of twitched without really interacting with him. That's kind of another issue I have with the melee, and it's not satisfying. Again, I'm sure that most of my complaints will be resolved in updates, but it's just that we were kind of promised this, or at least you would expect that these features would be here, even in the early access. Like, what was that? Why did I just suddenly, like, snap to the other side of his head? I'm trying to stab him. There we go. It's not even going in him. Can I even get this in him? I don't think so. I think it's just stuck on the air. See? The crowbar is the most egregious example of this. It's really difficult to get it to stab properly, and most of the time you're just going to be making their heads bob. Also, the crowbar feels really light. Oh, right, you can't reverse grip, so you can't hold it like this to hit them with the blunt end, but this is not... That's just... I'm expecting a rebar clunk. I will say that there is, of course, once again, it feels like they spent more time perfecting the smaller scale stuff that doesn't matter for gameplay. Like, yeah, you can do this, and like, you can actually feel your fingers interacting with the objects, but like, why does that matter for the gameplay? It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't matter for the gameplay. It's cool. It's satisfying. But what does this achieve? Especially when you're shooting people. You can't grab this. I have not seen the AK yet with the frickin' sling on it. I don't even know if that's actually in the game, because I just assumed all the AKs had the sling. It could also be that there's some things that just aren't properly in the game because... Or it could just be that there are some features that are just not on Quest. But, you know, I kind of assumed that those sort of things would be like by design. Now, I'm not actually grabbing this. This is all just physics holding on to this right now. It's all just the finger physics holding on to this. And, like, this is... You know, that's cool and all, but, again, that doesn't really do anything for gameplay. Now, I have not gone into any of these portals and worlds and stuff. I've just all been here testing interactions and stuff, seeing how much holds true to their claims. And I say I'm disappointed by most stuff. It's not unplayable, and I'm sure it'll be better with friends, but it's not amazing either. You know, one thing I was very excited for was to finally get into the game and open up these scissors. And they can't open. They are only scissors meant for stabbing. I just want to spin this on my finger, please. Well, I can't because my thumb's in the way. And it clipped through my hand. I hope that this little summary that I had just featured inside of the tutorial helps you decide if you want the game. Oh, another thing that I was actually very proud to see is that you can actually look at the magazine and see how many bullets are left. That is not something that is often... That is not something that is often featured. Also, they have a cap on how fast the pistol can shoot. You cannot shoot it as fast as you can pull the trigger. It is artificially capped. But, yeah, you can... Also, you can't... There's no... You can't press the... Oh, there's that feature. I don't know why that wasn't working before. Okay. You can't press a slide release, like in Hard Bullet. You can't... Or even Downshot. Downshot, you'd press a slide release. No, you have to rack it to close it back up. But you can rack it on yourself, which is sleek, but not super practical. But anyways... Yeah, you can't, so as you can see, it was completely full before. Now there's only 2 bullets left, so I do like that. That's really nice. More VR games need that, and I don't know why they don't. And even when they don't have this as a feature, they don't even tell you how much ammo you have left when you look at the magazine. I think only Hard Bullet does that. Beyond Sandbox team, please fix this. While you can see the ammo in your other magazines, you cannot do the same for this rifle. Only one shows at the top, though you can see the rest are in there. It's just that, you know, this model of magazine isn't meant to actually... Like, I don't know what this part's called that pushes the rounds up into the gun, but... It needs to be below all of the bullets. Same with this rifle as well. It only shows 1. So that would be a little hard to know how much ammo you have left, but you did get it right for the AK. You can actually see how many bullets are left in there. Which, now that I'm thinking about it, this is so fucking bad. Yeah, there's not that little feeder there. That feeder is not present. Shooting guys, you know, you get a headshot, instant kills. That feels decently satisfying, I guess, but you know, when you shoot their legs, their bones don't break. We were promised bone breaking from the shorts, and there is bone breaking here. I've seen it. It just doesn't really work as often as you would think. In Hard Bullet, you shoot somebody's joints and you hear the snap and they can't use it anymore. But, you know, this guy is basically not even reacting. I do not count them grabbing their groin and stepping back a few feet as a reactive ragdoll or a satisfying ragdoll. This isn't going to cut it. It needs more. And, you know, I would love, like, I think Hard Bullet has some of the most satisfying NPCs to shoot in a VR game. Second to that would be Nightclub Simulator. Again, funnily enough. But I love shooting Hard Bullet NPCs because when you shoot them in the chest, they stumble. When you shoot their legs, it breaks, they fall. When you shoot their arms, they can't hold the gun anymore. You can shoot their hand, you can shoot the gun out of their hand. It's just, they're very reactive, but this, he's just looking at everywhere I shoot him. That's not satisfying. And don't even get me started on, you know, doing it to a guy that can actually walk. Are they gonna be able to get off the table? There we go. Yeah, don't even get me started with this. This is just... It's just not reactive at all. It's just not. What happens if I grab a guy that's walking? Nothing. Basically nothing. Can I grab his gun? Nope. I'll try it again just for confirmation, but I'm certain that you can't. Nope, can't grab him at all. Oh, there we go, I grabbed him. Oh, I ejected his magazine. Something's happening. Something's happening. Can I, like... You know, in other games, when you smack them in the head, they would fall over so that they would let go of their gun. He just kind of fell over for no reason. He's gonna get back up. He should have no ammo, though, unless he can reload. Oh, he's reloading. Okay. Go, give me that. Give me that. Just... Give me the gun. Can I break his arm? There we go. Finally. Something somewhat satisfying happened. And he's dead. Did he die from the arm break? Alright, I'm gonna... So, let me pull this guy off the table. He should theoretically fall when I pull him. And that should give me the opportunity to seize his weapon. I can't grab him. He did fall, but mostly because I was just walking into him. There needs to be more body sound effects, more body hitting the floor sound effects. There's only the one sound effect, and that doesn't even play that often. You know, a nice thud really adds impact and makes getting someone to the ground more satisfying. Like, that sounds like a pillow falling on the ground. Why am I getting hurt? I'm getting hurt every time I hit him. Is it because I'm hurting my knuckles? What just happened? I don't know. I think it's because the AK is a higher caliber than the pistol, so it has... Okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe higher caliber guns... Because I do know that they said higher caliber guns have more of a reaction. But, you know, they also said if you shoot a body part enough times, the limb will break. Or they won't be able to use it anymore, or whatever. Let me spawn a few more of these guys. I'm probably gonna die, whatever. See what happens. Okay, so they do fall. It's... Oh, that guy just shot his own dude. Okay, he fell because he bled out. But he's getting back up. He keeps falling. That's fine. I'm gonna use the sniper rifle. See what happens if I shoot precisely. Should I hit this guy's leg? That's a nice scope. He didn't... Nothing. No reaction. Still no reaction. Okay, what if I shoot his hand? Or the gun? One of the two. I did not hit him. Or maybe I did. It wouldn't make a difference. No reaction. That was either a shot straight to the chest, or to the hand, or to the gun. Nothing. No feedback. I don't know where these shots are going, because they clearly are not hitting him at all, even though it would either get a body shot or a hand shot, so... You know... Satisfying feedback needs a lot of work. I barely touched him and he fell over, but when I actually try to make him fall by giving him a firm snap, he doesn't. You can't yank the gun from their hand. Okay, well, I kind of wish instead of pushing him, I would just walk over him. Just trying to grab the gun, dude. Okay, I think he's just falling because of the leg injuries that I gave him with the sniper, but... So, my final thoughts on Beyond. I don't really know what I was expecting from it. I think I was definitely overestimating it. I was kind of expecting for, you know, not the perfect VR game, but at least the most suitable VR game to give us gun jitsu, John Wick, an NPC, or your friend. I still have yet to test what playing with a friend is like. You know, maybe it's a lot better when playing with a friend. Maybe the interactions feel better than janky NPCs, but I will have to test that on my own time. I do not want you. I hate that in VR games. You know, I died in Hard Bullet on one-shot mode because instead of grabbing the magazine, my character wanted to grab a dropped weapon. This fire axe is way too small. It's really unsatisfying. This is a hatchet, not a fire axe. Make it bigger and allow it to dismember because it doesn't. Why are you running? Are you out of ammo? You're not reloading your mag. You know, stay on the ground. Stay on the ground. Stay on the ground. And he died. You know, I wish the gun would fall out of their hands without them dying, and they would resort to melee like a Hard Bullet. But, again, there's no dismemberment with melees. It's kind of unsatisfying. There's dismemberment with melees and Hard Bullet. Also, I really hope that the texture, the gore texture, gets better. Because this is kind of basic. In Hard Bullet, you know, their heads actually deform and you can see their skulls, and that's really cool, but this is just, you know, a simple texture, so I hope that they improve on that front as well. But yeah, that's my honest review of Beyond Sandbox from somebody who was super hyped for this game, probably more hyped than anybody else. So yeah, bye, I guess. Now, to be clear, I don't hate Beyond Sandbox, and I'm not even really upset with it. I'm just a little disappointed that some areas didn't shine as brightly as I thought they would, but I'm still very excited to hop into the game with my friends and see what that's like. But to prove that I at least had some amount of fun and I wasn't just criticizing everything in the tutorial, here's 2 little funny things that I did. I'll test one more thing. Where's the pistol? I so saw it. What can you... Where's the pistol? Where's anything? Had to be done.